Hi. So I decided to shoot a video based on racism. Racism has always existed, and possibly till the last day it will always exist. Racist human beings and why it happens the way it does. So, uh, let me just warm up my coffee. Okay, so racism. So pretty any race could be racist, whether you're white, uh, brown, black, or Asian. Uh, through all that's all race that exists on this planet Earth. Uh, we all have been racist. Just depends on a high degree. I've been racist. How would you say? In a very bacterial racist. What true racist is. Uh, for example, I can't stand a white woman with a black man. Like, he pisses me off mentally. Like, I don't hate a black man or a black woman or their family. Uh, I don't hate, like, how would you say, black human beings. I don't hate white human beings. But like, I can't stand like looking at a white woman with a black man. It's not exactly like their huge dick size that really pissed me off. That part is okay, more than okay. Uh, but it's usually one's way too white and one's way too black, where he like looks very fucked up, like mentally visualizing this. Uh, so we all been racist. I just been like racist on a small degree, but how I put out my hatred, I would be the most racist human being that can't stand a white woman with a black man. And I'll get into to detail. Now, Washington D.C. as the government allows me to have my racism freedom, which I could be racist, as long as I don't touch anybody, which is definitely okay in my terminology. You could be as racist you are, or racist as you get, as long as you don't touch any human being, you're okay. Where you're not committing murder, like especially murder. I also wouldn't allow you to be threatful. Threatful is a second thing. Two things that the government in the United States. Now, you could be a racist human being. You just can't be highly threatful or even medium threatful, or you can't commit murder because of your racism. That some dumbasses do. But in general, I love all race, including whites, blacks, browns, and Asians. Uh, I love them all. It's just sometimes this doesn't bug me all the time. Just sometimes when I overthink where my brain goes way too deep into that shit. It usually never bugs anybody really, even the blacks or whites, unless you overthink it way too much. Where you understand like genetics and many things in it. Uh, I'll tell you. Let me just grab my cup. Okay. So racism. We're gonna keep. Hopefully, I don't forget any topics out of this. Like somehow I shoot these videos, but always I'm missing like either the positive or the negative side of each aspect. Somehow I always forget details to it. Uh, okay. So racism. So let's begin in the early stage. Uh, I strongly beyond believe with that we came out of Adam and Eve ancestors. Some of you might disagree that we came out of monkeys, like evolution, out of scientific way. But I disproven that many times. That evolution never evolved out of monkeys for many reasons. I believe the religious sides, like Adam and Eve, Eva and Adam, like when they bit the forbidden apple. I don't believe evolution. I'm way too deep into it to believe something like that. Like after the Father Creator God shows me all these things, I can't simply say it's a lot when it's a fact. Especially about Amy Lee that I shot you about her, the rock star Amy Lee. Oh, clone genetics of my mother and two sisters. Oh, so if Adam and Eve's ancestors never existed, Amy Lee wouldn't exist in reality. Oh, it would be impossible to figure it out. Oh, but yet you have like what the Father is a creator. You have a free will what you want to believe. Oh, so God has given us a free will. So lots of racism happens in America, but racism happens all around the world. Uh, but let's begin how racism, okay, how the scientific and almost every genius believes the same thing. So how do I explain you this through Adam and Eve's story? So mother and father, my mother is the first Eve and Adam. Okay, they when God first invented Adam and Eve, they were in East, like Middle East. Okay, somewhere where Mecca, Jerusalem, and Judaism is. I highly suspect they were Jews at beginning of God's creation. And then second theory that they might have been Muslims. But at the beginning, when Adam and Eve began, they completely didn't even know they were Jewish or Muslim. They didn't even there was no Muslim or Judaism at all. It was a completely different religion. It is similar, like today's religion about sins, hell, heaven, and all that. Uh, so when God invented the Adam and Eve's garden, when He invented my mother and father, they had they had black hair, which comes out of blacks and brown people, and they were a little bit chocolatey, not fully. They were still white but chocolatey, which I have one because Middle East temperature turns gives you black hair and it gives you chocolatey, little bit brownish, small percentage, like Turks, if you know how to judge Turks. Something exactly is that. Uh, like small percentage, they were chocolatey because of the sun high heat. Okay, from that point, once my mother and father bit the forbidden apple, that they should have never, ever, ever bitten that apple, ever. The forbidden apple. And then a scent came to existence. And it's also like a knowledgeable fruit where it gives you intelligence. From that point, once they bit that forbidden apple and whatever it may be led to half a million years till they duplicated, from that point they gain intelligence how to maybe let's say 200 years into the future they knew how to build boats uh, and sail all across the world. First, they sailed somewhere into Europe, which turned them brown hair and green eyes. But hold on, but in beginning their eyes is black hair, and in beginning of God's creation they had brown eyes, which comes out of browns and black people, which is proven fact. From that point, once the knowledgeable fruit, the forbidden fruit that they should have never, ever, ever bitten. Okay, from that point, they gained intelligence through demonic way and through devils and demons. Then their first place was somewhere towards Europe. That's when brown hair and green eyes came to existence. That was the very first one, which is me. I have brown hair and green eyes. So brown hair and green eyes, they could they're like half heat and half cold. So they could put up like with cold temperature and high heat. Like they're somewhere in the middle. Uh, but let's reverse the beginning. So they had black hair, brown genetics before they bit the forbidden apple. At that point, they could sail through many Middle East, like, how would you say, you know what Middle East is? Like 130 degrees temperature. So they could sustain and somehow build houses and everything. But once the knowledgeable fruit, the forbidden fruit, that's when brown hair out of white people in green genetics. And once they sail into Europe and other colder temperatures, that's when they became more white. From that point, as they gained, once they entered, sailed into, how would you say, Europe, then they sailed, possibly, let's say, Russia was first, or Africa was second, uh, and then let's say they did enter into Russia, that gives them blue eyes, and it gives them natural blonde hair. That's like the whitest out of the most whitest. Natural blondes and blue genetics out of eyes. And then the third, let's say they entered into Africa, the third is just hard to state this in human history. Uh, from that point, a white man, they were once upon a time, well, not fully white, as I explained to you. Uh, they entered into Africa. That's how they gained their large lips and brown genetics. That's when brown genetics in eye color came into existence. Uh, Same thing. Then they sailed like to Mexico, like hotter places like Cuba and many other places, but many other white places like Canada and like even Alaska and place. That's how you all came through Adam and Eve's to existence. Uh, this is why the first white Adam has black hair. The second Adam across has black hair too. But the mother could never have it because you've bitten the forbidden apple, like the knowledgeable fruit. But like my mother, the only hair color that could fit her is black hair, which God doesn't allow it. But only the first Adam in my family, including the second Adam, had black hair. Uh, so like God doesn't allow it, where He gives you a trace how Adam and Eve began. This is like Adam's family. Google that, like Adam's family, and you'll see them all black hair as white human beings. Christians believe the same thing. I also 100% believe the same thing. How this all went down. Uh, so so pretty much how white people, brown people, black people, and Asians came to existence is pretty much cold and hot temperature. Pretty much how they came to existence. Uh, that's how black people and brown people and white people come to existence. Pretty much uh, highly cold, a little bit like half heat, half cold, brown people, and then Africans are the highest summer heat. That's how you all came to existence today. So we're keep in mind we're shooting a video about racism. Uh, is racism a sin? Oh yeah, it definitely is. Uh, Racism is a sin. Oh yeah. Judge the videos that I shot you where I kill your mental demons through preaching. Notice at that stage, once you're in a full peace of mind, you're not a racist one bit. So God is fully against racism. Uh, so as Jesus Christ, I taught like people it would be impossible. This was hard. I had to study it for almost days and days, uh, and almost months. I taught at beginning that human beings, it's impossible for them to be racist. Oh yeah, they could be racist. Oh yeah. Uh, for example, if a black man has a family, okay, like and let's say he has two daughters and his wife, okay, if his black daughter fucks a white man, man, he's gonna fucking hate that man. Like the biggest hatred he'll ever fucking have in racism. So if let's say uh let's say it's a white family with two daughters and let's say a white daughter fucks a black man or marries him, the the father and the son out of white family, he's gonna fucking hate him, man. Oh, like now this depends on how intelligent you really are. This doesn't mean like on a dumber scale, like on a medium scale of intelligence, you'll still bug them, but not as much. But the more deeper you become as intelligent as a black man or like a black family or a white family, the more racist shit becomes. True fact. But if you think whites and blacks are racist to one another, a white man could be racist to a white man. Uh, like they shot you in the Greeks' wedding. They are fully Greeks and they are white, except they hate American man because he's white entering into their culture, which is a true thing. They're both white, yeah, but the thing is, now they hate like the difference. One's Greek and one is American, where he doesn't like you entering into the same thing. American doesn't want his daughter entering to a Greek's family or a Greek son entering in American's family, since like the language is different, the humor and like millions of things are different. We are white, yes, but like we're different when it comes to languages, humor, many things, music, religion background, and millions of other things. Like our politeness, our respect, how we greet people is completely different. Uh, Now, if you think a black man can be racist to a black man, they can. Let's say you come out of something like projects, like thugs and gangs. Now, if a black man is more educated, let's say he comes out of lawyers and doctors, and none of them are criminals, they don't like those, regardless that they're black, they are black, but they don't like one another entering into their family. They are both blacks, both families are blacks, but you're coming out of like a poor ghetto place into like a wealthier family of black people. Uh, and they could all be like the same way the white man can say in the millions of other ways too. All, but somehow they will accept each other way quicker, like a black ghetto, like out of project, and they'll somehow accept one another way quicker. The same thing like a Greek and a white family, they'll accept each other a lot quicker. It won't take them too long to get along. But what makes them always get along is like it's always God. Religion always has to do in a sin. Uh, Sin has to play a role. Emotions and millions of things when they finally become less racist family and they get along. Where they get along, it just takes a long time to heal. But they do get along. The most that take a lot of fucking time, man. This takes is a black family and a white family. They don't like mating. That's like proven. How do you think all the blacks ended up? Well, not all the blacks, but most 80% ended up on the south. It wasn't really Area 51 or anything military classified that separated them. So it's once Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy gave them a freedom to work and to civilize. A black family ran to a black community. A white man ran to a white family community. Like they separated each other like through racism. Uh, Here's why God hates racism. Why God hates a black man and a white man mating. Okay, so when let's say you're typically it could be either way, but it's typically a white girl liking the giant dicks, big giant black dicks. So she runs to a black man, so they have a lot of racism and hatred. But the point is, when they have like a son or a daughter, they are chocolatey, like half white, half black. But to turn them fully either black or white, like this could take almost 500 years into the future. So what God did, he invented like blacks and whites family into racism. So he separates them from this stuff. Uh, but if you think a white woman is fully a threat of fucking a black man, which is not. Uh, I traveled in Chicago, Manhattan, and many other cities. It's only 5% of white women that ever marry a black man. It's not that many as you think. But in pornography, you will see shit about them. In pornography, you'll see a lot of them. But in reality, in America, it's only 5% of white women that actually marry a black man. Now, a black woman marrying a white man is way smaller, like not even a 1%. I would say half a percent of the entire America. Oh, that I do. Oh, that's because a black man has more of a bigger dick size that they see on pornography, but white ones could have it just as big, which I seen a lot of pornography. So many the 5% of white women, they run to a black man thinking they could get a bigger dick. Uh, but now it's more complicated than that. Sometimes a white woman finds a black man attractive. It's not the whole judging the dick size that matters. Now it's like the attraction of a black man. Uh, uh, but that's white. So there's no reason to be fully ever racist with when it comes to black men and white families mating. It's only like fucking 5% in the entire America. That's not a high percentage. Oh, I'll teach you like the positive side and the negative side of racism. Oh, I'm not racist. Oh, it might bug me that a white woman is fucking a black man, but I will never let you know that if I ever encounter you. I won't talk my shit. Oh, I'm okay with it. Oh, it just doesn't bug me as that was like the past Sam. Oh, it doesn't bug me anymore. The more intelligent as a human being you become, understanding how these mental issues really function, the less how would you say you're bad, evil, and cold. Once you understand, then you come to the light that you see on my picture. You have to go through your dark side. I've been very, very dark, man, in the past. Very, very dark, man. I scored to be number one evilest human being and second most evilest human being out of all human beings. Except physically, I never touched anybody, so it's gonna be forgiven. Which I told you in the past video, mental sins they're forgiven since you never committed them. Oh, but you have to go through like the dark one to understand the light on angels and God. Otherwise, without understanding your evil side, you don't know the good side, pretty much. Pretty much without understanding the bad, evil, and cold side, you don't know how to get to the light as being a good person. Pretty much, we all have to go through these stages. Uh, Pretty much without evil, you don't know how to be good ever. That's the fucked up thing about a devil in religion side. Without understanding evil, you don't know what a sin really is. You have to be good to understand what a sin really is. So I was gonna get to that one thing now. I'm missing it off my head. Oh, okay. There's another couple of things about racism. But even like Mexicans, they also become like racist where they don't want white people or blacks entering into their family, which is very noticeable on Mexicans. Somehow Mexicans don't like mating at all, which I noticed. Mexicans don't like mating with white men or black all. If you were to study Mexican culture, which is interesting. Uh, but like all cultures, whether you are how would you say white, black, brown, or Asian, they're all racist when it comes, especially like entering into their family. Like maybe not these since I'm Bosnian background as Jesus Christ, but like the past generations of Bosnians, they'll tell you they don't want fucking Americans into the fucking house. It's not so much that they understand that white Americans are white and since I'm white too, and we're white. But the problem is the religion, our humor, our language, our singing. You don't meet like what we believe, our principle, our respect. and many like millions of things that they become very racist. Yes, even Bosnians, where they don't want blacks, Americans, or Mexicans or Asians into their family. They only want Bosnians. Uh, so the government really can control these things. So this is like impossible for any government. Now the only way I would accuse you if you're throwing high threats towards other race, or if you committed a murder. That's the only time I would charge you for racism. But if you talk your shit to racism, I won't arrest you for that. It's usually threats, something that the American government does, or if you commit murder, like hating another race, which I think United States government is extremely beyond civilized in my genius book on these type of topics. Now, the justice law, like 911, it does protect you. It does allow you because you can. I also agree to the same thing. You cannot control these things. Oh, it's impossible. So if a white woman fucks a black man, you're not to threaten her or commit murder on her. You have to be, or if you show very high racism, like out of insults, you have to be arrested for that case. Whether it's a Mexican disagreeing his Mexican daughter fucking a white man, or a white man fucking it, or his Mexican son fucking whichever in a racist way, uh, uh, like that's how the 911 works. If you throw very high threats, not to mention if you commit a murder, you have to be arrested. So pretty much what I believe, like United States government, you're allowed all to mate with one another. How would you say? This the problem is we cannot ever make a law that it's illegal out of this stuff. It's impossible anywhere in the world, not just America. People have their opinions, they follow the mob, and it's also then God judges you in the like racism where you have to allow it, like 911, where a white woman is allowed to fuck a black man, or a black woman fucking a white man. Uh, and if you come disagreement like battery or high threats, you have to be arrested from that point. And then the judge decides your fate, how long you gotta go on your vacation. I agree, is Jesus Christ the same fucking way? Oh, let me just take a piss. I always somehow, last time I shot this video, until this moron is bad Jesus or the psychopath one deleted all my fucking videos, man, while I was pissed. So I'm missing like maybe 30 videos of the last one. Thank God I was capable of downloading all my past videos, except I'm missing 30 of them, which I explained, but I wasn't as being explainable. Let's go back to black and whites. They're like the worst ones that hate ever mating. Lots of racism shit happens once a white daughter goes for a black man or a black woman for a white man. Uh, but keep in mind, it's only 5% of white women in the entire America that ever marry a black man, so it's not even that much of a threat to any of us. And then 1% of black females uh, uh, might marry a black man or a white man. Uh, so let's say a white woman mates with a black man, or white woman with a black man. Yeah. So pretty much, if you ask the father of the black of the of the black family, if you ask the father and he's the son, if you ask the father, the dominator that controls the family at some point, uh, a black father will tell you this is completely okay. But then a black mother and a black daughter will tell you, I fully disagree on this. She's not entering that family. As a white woman, she's not entering my fucking family. That's what a black woman and a black daughter tells you. Like more of like a genius, like black human beings, not like the dumber scale of black human beings. Uh, so one always agree, two always disagree. Now, if you ask a white family, the let's say a black woman goes for a white man, so the white family will tell you something like this. The white father tells you it's completely okay, including the son will tell you okay. But the white mother and a white daughter they disagree, kind of in the opposite way that I explained you with the black family. They'll tell you fuck no, definitely no. As a black woman, you're not fucking my son, or you're not starting a fucking family. Uh, so it's like opposite of thinking what I tell you. Always two disagree on it, but then four disagree on it. Uh, and like through God's matrix way, that's how blacks and whites don't mate that much. It's only 1% black woman fucking a white man or marrying a white man, and 5% because of bigger dick sizes. 5% of white women marry black men. Uh, Now you understand, like I educated you racism in extremely beyond smartest stage that you could ever understand it. If you simply never had time to blow this topic, like where you overthink it, why this happens the way it does. Uh, Now, if browns like Mexicans and whites, they still do hate it, but not as much as whites and blacks. That's because one is like fully black of a person, like a black family, and one is way too white. That's usually what like bugs them mentally. It's not so much that a black man has a giant dick. That part they really enjoy and love. Uh, but then when it comes to browns and whites, they still do hate it, definitely yes, but not as much as whites and now, when it comes to like, let's say, a foreign white person with American, they definitely still hate it, yes, but not as that much. They kind of gain together. But even when the black families and white families mate, they do get back together. They become a normal family where they get along. It just takes a little bit more time to heal their fucked up racism thoughts or their hearts. It takes a little bit more time to heal up, but they do get along, even whites and blacks. I mean, otherwise, whites and blacks can't exist in God's creation. If how would you say if they don't fully get along? It just takes a little bit more time. Oh, okay. 40 minutes. Wow. Yeah, racism topic is pretty long, man. 40 minutes till now, and it's deeper than that. I mean, if I went highly into genetics, like faces and all that, then it's even more complicated than that. But back to blacks and whites family mating. So if a white woman marries a black man, okay, especially if you're a black family that has bigger lips, which they come from the south side, and they have bigger asses, a men and women genetically. Uh, so let's say you're a black family with large black lips, with a white family mating. So the white daughter is fucking your black son, okay, and they have a kid, okay. That kid becomes the second most valuable in genetics. Like how would you say you could put up with the highest heat? Uh, and let's say it's a natural blonde with blue eyes. That's where the highest, whitest human being. Let's say they were to mate in that type of genetics. That child comes out the second most valuablest kid in the entire fucking planet Earth when it comes to human mating. Uh, think about it. You could put up with the highest heat and you could put up with the highest cold. And once your child comes out like half black, half white, uh, it's like an extremely valuable kid. Like, now I haven't fully proven that it's more smarter, but I highly do suspect it is. Uh, so you cannot say in racism that kid that's half black, half white doesn't value. You can't say in God's creation that he doesn't value, since he comes to the second most valuablest kid in the entire world. Uh, so there's always like there's always all our mental issues that I ever studied. There's always a weak point and a weak point and a strong point. Whenever there's a strong point, there's a weak point. Whenever there's a weak point, there's a strong point to everything. Oh, but which one is the number one most valuable? It's actually a Chinese, Asian out of Chinese, possibly Korea that I don't know, but Japanese I know. You would have to made how would you say either a Chinese man with a black woman with large lips, or or a Chinese woman with a black man with large lips. That's the most number one. So why Chinese? Why Asians? Asians were like technically the most whitest out of all of us. In beginning, the reason Asians all around Japanese, Korean, the reason they're short is because of cold temperature shrinks the body. Okay, pretty much in evolution, and this God knows how many billions of years to invent Asia takes place. From that point, they sailed most likely to India. They turned all brown. And then Chinese from that point sailed from India. Usually, they could move from India, but it's usually because of wars. They found like a colder temperature. But keep in mind that Asians was like the whitest out of whites, and they had the most natural blondes, and they had baby blue eyes on all of them. But then when they moved to India, he like turned them like Arabs, way stronger like Indians. Yeah, I mean it's India. He turned them very chocolatey. From that point, once Chinese sailed to a very cold temperature, once started turning their skin color like white, like when he was taking all that brown like skin, like he turned their Asians' eyes like that way, where he shrinked it. That's what happens when you add heat to cold. You get like the cool Asian eyes. So number one child is actually Chinese made in a Chinese family with a black family, uh, which was Marshall. I had a picture of him as a kid when I sailed, almost like time travel, like Destiny, where they educated me like angels and God. These things, something I had. His mother was except they were very poor. His mother was Chinese, dating a black man, and Marshall was like half Chinese, half black. Uh, at that point, I was only like 9 years old. I didn't even know where blacks or browns or even where Chinese even come from. Uh, Except I was a kid, which I have in one of the picture. I might have shared it in one of my videos. Uh, but if you think human beings can be they could be other ways of racist, way more racist than the stuff that I just explained you. Human beings could be racist in different methods, like domination of America, for example. Let's kill all the Mexican, dope them up with drugs, and let's fuck up all the blacks also with dope. But let's somehow maintain not to fuck up the whites. Uh, the reason they become that way is because they're afraid that a Mexican or a black man will over dominate their white race. So visualize it like this. Uh, you're all like, let's visualize Africa. So they're fully black. So let's say you brought in 30% of brown people and 30% of white people. So the blacks do the same thing, like they dope them up or think many genius way how to fuck them up, so they don't overtake Africa or the black race that rules it. Uh, that's the same way how fucked up racism happens in America. In a similar way, uh, that the most genius believe that's why it happens. The reason they fucked up so many blacks on the South is because of this, what I'm explaining you. They're afraid that black man is gonna over dominate how would you say a white race. But technically it belongs truly to an Indian. Then after they killed and murdered all and over dominated, now it belongs to the white ones. But the problem is now the whites are afraid that Mexicans or blacks will over dominate like their America where they take over control of it. So the idea, dope them up as much as possible, teach them gangs, symbols, and all the fucking negative shit. Uh, but that was the early stage of racism. Now drugs don't have to really do without doping blacks or Mexicans, browns. Now the interest is way too high into it. They like doping them out, even white ones, way more than the black and Mexicans, just to get their interest out of drugs. Uh, that was the early stage. Okay, so you understand how they politically become racist. Visualize it if you're Mexican. If I brought you whites and blacks, you do the same shit. I mean, if you have access to drugs, where you're afraid they're gonna take over your Mexican city, pretty much. That's because at this point, I wouldn't say they're that stupid. They're definitely a lot smarter. Uh, but Area 51, like at least that was built 1930s to night. That was the most military classified early stage that's built. Now there's like maybe if not 10 of them way more classified than Area 51. Uh, they weren't they weren't racist to black human beings because if Area 51 wanted to get rid of all the blacks, they would they would have caused like kind of like corona or smallpox, if you know, or that Hitler tossed like biohazard like disease like coronavirus. They would have killed some white and they would have extinct all the blacks. So a uh, black man could be the most thankful to Area 51 that these motherfuckers weren't racist. Because if Area 51 was racist, they would have tossed biohazard and they would have wiped out some whites, including blacks. So our American highest classified motherfuckers, they weren't racist because that's because they understood this intelligence that I'm telling you. That's why they weren't fully racist to black human beings or even Mexicans. And it would have been like a piece of cake to do something like that, just to toss biohazardous, kill some whites and mainly blacks, and blacks would have went extinct. And from that point, just banned all black immigrants from ever entering into the country. Oh, yeah, I am definitely killing it today. I am one genius motherfucker, man. I spend all pays off overthinking, man. But let's go back to story when it comes to all race, whites, blacks, browns, and Asians. Are we like in general like racist human beings? No. A black man will protect a white family just as equal to a black family. A white family will protect a black family just as equal to every family. Uh, Mexicans, same thing, would protect a white, even a black family in an equal way. The whole fucked up part is they don't like mating, uh, like when it comes to families. Uh, so are we, in general, are we racist human beings? No. Uh, so people that have high intelligence that watch like why okay I mean if you guys are racist to black human beings, let's say, even though they're not fully, they never will be, including me. So why are all these blacks being shipped to Russia, Germany, especially America, Germany, and Russia, like the most out of the most three powerfulest white nations in the entire world? Now it values like through genetics, like the high lips, the bigger lips, and they have bigger asses on both on men and all. Now the whole idea is to bring as many blacks because they're like uh, the the natural blondes and whites. The blacks are the south and the whites are the natural blondes. They're the most valuable as genetics to ever have in like in a kingdom. So it's no longer like the racist shit. It's now it's more like in genetics who fucks who up in domination, like through genetics. So let's bring as many Southside out of Africa with large lips, and then let's bring as many natural blondes out of the white. Like You'll find them in Canada the most, in Russia, and possibly Alaska, where you could find the blue eyes and natural blondes. Okay, then you had another question. How do red hairs, like gingers, what they call, how do they come to existence? Well, a brown hair like me and green eyes, we we bang a natural blonde with blue eyes, and then from that point the color like mates, and it creates you red color. These are like through genetics, like these are the most valuable thing. Uh, there's three colors that exist. Okay, so visualize a black man out of the highest south with large lips and bigger asses. Let's not say that again. So they have brown genetics out of eyes. The second ones, so they could put up with the highest heat, which is Africa, the south. Uh, the second one comes to existence are browns and whites with black hair or brown hair and green eyes. We come in second, so we could put up with some high heat and some high cold. That's the ability out of genetics. And then there's a natural blonde with blue eyes. That one's like the coldest temperature. So there's like three genetics out of eyes that exist. But each of them have like a high, like a weak point and a strong point, as I tell you always. So a black man with brown genetics that has large black lips, he cannot put up with like Russian cold temperature or even deeper cold in the north. They can't put up with it. Like they self-destruct. Uh, Me that comes half black, half white, I could put up with some cold and some temperature, like kind of like America. I can't go way too deep into it. Like I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I could explore, for example, the entire America, but if I go, or maybe some Mexico, or maybe some Canada, but I can't go. I also can't go to the highest cold or the highest heat out of Africa. That's what I have out of all. That's if you're a white man that has brown hair and green eyes. Now, if you're a natural blonde with blue eyes, you could put up with the highest cold. Like Russia, it doesn't like you won't even get a flu. Canada, like very cold temperature, but they also can go into like Africa, where immediately they might not die, but they won't like that temperature. Uh, so each of these genetics through eyes and things, he has a weak point and a strong point to each of them. I disagree that all three of them are like not one's ever smarter or dumber than one another. How would how would you say? The blacks, the brown hairs like me, including natural blondes, they all have same exact intelligence. How would you say either of them ever had evolutionarily smarter genetics? They over dominate another race immediately. Uh, so let's say the black ones were smarter in genetics, they will over dominate us all. It wouldn't take too long. Let's say I have in the middle, which I could handle hot, some heat, some cold. Let's say I had a smarter genetics, then I overruled the entire world. Same thing with natural blondes with blue eyes. If they were smarter at a cold temperature, they will over dominate us all. So each one is like all three eye colors and all three rays, they're equally. You see what I'm saying? Evolutionally. Now let's go back to America with all this racism that always happened in, I mean, all around the world, as I explained, you, not just America. I disagree that a black man or a Mexican is a threat to any of us. Uh, so let's say you're a black man or a brown man out of Mexican or possibly Cuban or maybe Indian. Like, let's say you go towards north, where it's called like Montana or possibly Canada. And let's say I put you even colder like Alaska. And let's say I place you 1,000 years or 2,000 years, you all turn white. Okay. Uh, let's say now I take a white man and I place him in Mexico, but or possibly Colombia or Cuba would be even smarter. And let's say I placed a white man or India, for example. I mean, it doesn't have to be all. Let's say I placed a white man there for 2,000 years, they become same thing brown, through their skin color. Less than I would say 1,500 years to 2,000 years. So I'm explaining you beyond racism stuff why not to be a racist human being. Oh, now, if you use these things in like an evil, bad way or a cold way, I'm not responsible as Jesus Christ for these sins. That's your own personal choice. Uh, so, in another way, I'll explain you. There's always gonna be equally whites, equally blacks, equally browns, and equally Asians. It's it's impossible to ever recorrect it all. So there's no reason politically you should be a racist human being. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Oh, like there's no reason we need to dope up blacks, including browns, Mexicans, and the rest of the browns. But now, as I tell you, drugs are no longer about racism shit. It's about interest. Oh, and white people consume way more drugs than actual blacks or Mexicans. It's like a fact. Oh, how would you say? But what I'm trying to say is, uh, I allow you as a black man to have your full freedom, to be the most wealthiest man. A black man, even a Mexican, or even an Asian, or even an Indian, which this doesn't bother me at all. Since how would you say the cold and heat equals out same exact racism race that we always have? We always gonna have equal whites, equal blacks, equal browns, and equal Asians. So there's no reason I need to be racist towards a black, brown, Asian person. I don't need to be racist because the temperature returns them exact same form as they were. If I place a brown and a black into a cold temperature like somewhere in Alaska, less than 2,000 years, they're like white as me. Same exact white. Uh, Now, Asians, if I ever took in like a race towards a threat, it's actually Asians. The problem is to turn Asians tall. You could turn them white. They're already white Asians, except they're these Chinese eyes, things like to turn them. Let's say it takes a brown and a black man in a very cold temperature like Alaska, 2,000 years to turn them white. But an Asian, believe it or not, takes like, if not half a billion years. So if I ever did find like a race that is a threat towards a black person, white person, and a brown person, it would be an Asian race, Chinese, believe it or not. Uh, so yeah, and I think so far I explained to you everything about racism in the very highest intelligence. So what did I teach you through all this? Like, don't be a racist, Dick. Oh, so yeah. What else I could teach you about racism? Oh, uh, this is just a topic on racism. Oh, so I think there could be another 1,000 things that I haven't really mentioned when it comes to genetics, but that's like way too deep. When it comes to our face, how our faces look like, and things that's way too deep on racism. I mean, it's complicated to explain it to. Uh, but yeah, in other words, there's no reason in the United States we need to be a racist government. Oh, I disagree fully. Oh, and thank God that our most military classified fuckers like something like Area 51. Thank God they're not racist human beings. Imagine them fucking problems. Uh, so if you're like a brown, black, or an Asian, you should be thankful to Area 51 since they understand even smarter in genetics than me. Especially if you're a black man, you should be thinking Area 51 dicks. Uh, but uh, so let's get into more about blacks. So once upon a times, let's talk about slavery. Okay, slavery always existed. It's either a Chinese slaving a white or a brown one slaving a white man, or even a black man slaving a white man. It has happened many times through our human history. It just depends who over dominates who when it comes to domination, like wars. Uh, but so slaves always existed. Uh, from that point, I guess Columbus he sailed to Africa in many European boats. Uh, and how the first, which I apologize fully, I'm not really supposed to say this word, but it wasn't really nigga or nigger what the how they defined. So they defined like black slaves, which is an African, at least what I did research, African longest river, and it was called Negro. That's how they called them at beginning black slaves. From that point, when they sailed them over here, they started calling them nigger. And a nigger and a negro stood for a slave. Okay, and from that point, the rappers introduced like nigga with a A. Uh, but we could visualize this like imaginary, like Hollywood. Not when blacks were slaves. Not every white the white people that slaved black men. They weren't all dicks. How would you say? It's usually the most stupidest genetic ones that torture like black slaves. Even if they're like in somewhere in the middle of intelligence, they don't torture black slaves how you visualize it. That's usually the most stupidest genetics ones that they do. The smartest, like the white people that possessed black slaves, they don't even possibly even hit them. If they give them more food and many things. The more the white man is dumber, the more he abuses slaves. You don't need like it's like logics where you don't need Hollywood movies to explain you these things. And then John F. Kennedy was assassinated because uh, he gave freedom to slaves. And then Martin Luther King was also assassinated because he gave permission from Washington D.C. where you could get a job. But what really fucked up the blacks is once Martin Luther King gave them like full freedom where they could work, the problem is majority or what don't know exactly. Let's say it was 20% or 10% of black people that existed. They were extremely poor. Oh, here's the problem with poor. When blacks were at that point poor, you have no choice but to be a criminal. Like you have to make your money. And let's say you try to get as a black man like job, they won't hire me because of high racism. Maybe 5% or 2% will, but they won't hire you. That's how majority of black like people came into the ideal projects that you have like hoods, like where it's super ghetto and like bad influence and murder and gang symbols. That's what fucked up the blacks the most. Uh, Now the military classified could have given you money, but the problem is they were broke. That's the problem. And then it was beyond hard to educate white human beings to accept them to be like have jobs. But even white human beings at that point didn't have a lot of jobs because of poorness. They weren't civilized in the correct way yet. So that's how you get your projects in what they call hoods. And notice the devil immediately introduced right after Martin Luther King, he introduced cocaine. And that's how, and that until they started inventing more drugs, that's how majority of blacks got fucked up where their black communities got fucked with high drugs and gangs and symbols and things. Uh, so it's not exactly also I guess it was a misunderstanding in the beginning. It's not so much that whites wanted to destroy you from cocaine and drugs. It's more than black human beings they were poor. They don't have an option. You have no option either to rob or to sell drugs or some sort of crime. So that's how majority of drugs came into the South. But in today's age, you have like middle class and wealthy class of black people. It's not as fucked up. Even if you're born in projects or the hood, what you consider if it's a bad neighborhood, you could still move to smarter black communities. Like our South Side with black human beings, they have crime, but it's like low cat stuff. Like if you're a black human being with $200,000, you have a beautiful house, man, in the South. And it's not that fucked up. I mean, they do have. It's not just blacks that have crime. Whites have crime too. Browns, all race have crime. Crime can be ever stopped. Uh, and most human beings that watch this video, I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, I didn't know. This all makes perfect sense what you're saying. Yeah, that's why I'm not a racist human being for these things. Uh, it's not your fault. You just either you're busy working or maybe you don't have time. Maybe you don't overthink it. Maybe you don't spend time studying. You're not on my level of intelligence. So I forgive you as Jesus Christ, but so does the Father since he understands this far smarter. He's far smarter than me. So some of you, if you even been racist in your at least video, hopefully this positive video could explain you fully about this racism shit that always happens all around the world. you didn't have time, or you're either busy working, or you simply never wasted your time studying racism. Uh, so it could be those sins could be forgiven for my father. You weren't educated on this level to understand it. I also wasn't educated, man. This took a lot of overthinking, man. Like, man, God knows. To understand racism, let's see where we're at. And it's not fully yet explaining the whole racism shit. Uh, so it's at 115. Uh, I would say he would read, based on my intelligence, let's say he would read almost to a 24-hour video. I believe in 24-hour video, I would be able to fully explain you more things about racism. But not bad for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So at least you know now. Now, oh, so yeah. So once again, I'm not fully racist. Oh, or I'm not racist at all. Understanding this type of high intelligence, it's simply beyond hard. Now it would piss me off if, since I have, my sister has two daughters, which I don't like any race entering my family other than white. When it comes to my family, I don't mind them being Bosnian, American, Russian, Germany, or any, but they have to be white. Oh, except Polish. I don't want Polish because of big noses. Oh, I don't like that especially. Oh, and there's the rest of the whites are okay. Now, if they do join up with another race, I can't do nothing about it. I'm gonna hate it. I'll make peace, as I tell you. It just takes time. Whether it's black, Mexican, Asian, or white. Uh, uh, but they're not my kids. Like, they're not exactly. I mean, they are my cousins, but they're not my kids. I can't make these decisions. But when it comes to the two daughters, I mainly want Americans in the family because it's like new to me as a Bosnian. Uh, I want an American family. But if they marry Bosnian men, which is my culture, I'm okay with that too. It definitely will piss me off if they bring in a black family into my family law. But through time, I'll heal up, as I tell you, as I explain, and I'll forgive it. I mean, there isn't a shit that I don't forgive. Oh. But even if I am a racist, I'm like a bacterial racist, which is not that big of a deal comparing to other human beings. Oh, I'm one of those, like, I could turn like into a psychopath, very cold motherfucker, man, that you don't want to ever see, is Jesus Christ. But somehow my heart is so purely good. I would never kill, believe it or not, any race. I wouldn't kill like any human being all the money that you ever fucking offer me. I would never kill a mammal uh, for all the money if you could offer me the entire world, even anything that you ever offer me, even an insect, believe it or not. Uh, uh, Now, mosquitoes, I have no choice but to snap them like all of us and kill them. Even a fly, when he enters my house, I don't like killing it. I'm like almost like a fucking monk. Uh, Even though I could turn into the most coldest human being on the in the entire planet, and possibly number one evilest human being to ever exist. But somehow my angel heart doesn't allow me. You could think about many murder crime, lots of murder, but that's why God invented a heart where He doesn't allow you. Now people could bypass a heart. Oh yeah, I mean it's been done. Since murder happens as we speak, I just can't do it. I don't understand them. I can't understand other human beings how you're capable of doing stuff like this. Oh, it's a sin, very high sin. Nemoguto. Oh, znači Bog sve čuje, vidi, zna I nikomu nije ravan. Oh, God hears all things, knows all things. Nobody's above God, not even a devil. And I think for this video, my thoughts are slowing down, so it's meant to destiny that I don't reveal nothing else. So yeah, stay away from sinning, man. High sins will get you to hell, man. Peace and enjoy my fucking video.